What's up, guys? I'm Drew Hoffentam, Maker's Best Friend. I'm going to be showing you guys how I'm going to make a wall shelf organizer for some spare wood. This is just going to be a simple shelf unit made out of some 2x4s. And the great thing about this product is I'm just going to be using a circular saw, a hand circular saw to make it easy, and anybody can really do it in their own houses, and a whole bunch of 2x4s that I have laying around the house. Real simple, real cheap, real fast. Check it out. So for just some backstory on how this product was inspired, I do a podcast with two of my good buddies, Luke Pretty and Winston Moy. Podcast is called Make My Day. Check it out. And in the last episode, at the end of it, we said to each other, it'd be great to keep ourselves moving forward with projects, to have a challenge amongst ourselves. And what we decided was that the last one, we're going to do a simple project on organizing the shop, whatever it is, whatever we wanted it to be. So in typical fashion, I waited to the morning of the next podcast before actually getting this done. So we're going to be shooting this, I think, in an hour. We're going to be recording in about an hour or two, I think. So doing a really simple and easy project for time's sake, and because it's something I really need in my shop. So check it out. Where it's going to go. Back here behind my miter saw, I've got a whole bunch of wood that's just accumulated over time and really become just quite a mess. So I really want a way to store it. I've already got one of these wood organization shelves back here that was on sale at the time, but it quickly ran out of room. So what I'm trying to do here is make something really similar, but probably just longer so I can have a little bit more shelves, but also to the point where it doesn't hit the miter saw stand, because that I want to be pushed up more towards the wall. So I'll try to make the bottom shelf, the height of it, right above the miter saw. I think that would be perfect. So check it out. Let's get started. So we're going to start by cutting these spare pieces of 2x4 I have down to 40 inches. Cutting two of them to 40 inches. Those are going to be our length for the for each of the shelves. So we're going to start by doing that. I've already changed my mind. I decided I want it to actually be longer, because I don't have to use the bottom shelves, and I could still push the miter saw against it, but then I also have the option to add stuff to it later on. I like options. So okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the whole length of one of these, cut the other one down to the same size. Here we go. We're going to use a circular saw. Okay, make sure the depth can cut all the way. All right, we're going to keep it simple still. So whatever length you guys did, all we're going to do is we're going to add one of the next 2x4s to the bottom for the shelves, one to the top. And then we're just going to, for the amount of shelves you guys want, we're just going to space those evenly within it. And the way this is going to work, is this side will go against the wall here. So what we're going to do is we're going to inset and table saw out whole bunch of chunks so that we can do a half lap joint with the 2x4, make it nice and strong and secure. And we're gonna make the shelves come out about a foot, each one about a foot. So since this is about 3 inches across here, we'll make each 2x4 shelf piece about 15 inches in length. That way there'll be a foot extended out of each part of this. And that's that simple, I think. So here we go, let's measure this out. So we have this scrap piece of 2x4, and this will make it easy to do some quick measurements. So like I said, we're gonna do one on the bottom, so half lap down here, okay? And it's gonna be the same width as each of these pieces. Okay, and then we want one shelf up top here. So let's do a half lap up here. And again, this doesn't have to be a pretty unit, it's just gonna be functional, so we don't have to care too much about some things as we go along. And then what I think we're gonna do is, it looks like if we do one and two more shelves, these should be pretty strong. And you know, it's so cheap that we can redo this later if we want to add more shelves. So what we're gonna do, simple as that. All right, so what we're gonna do is 18 inches down. We're gonna do the next one right here. let's mark this out here. Next 2x4, okay. And then another 18 inches to the next one. Okay. Just like that. Okay. And then to the next one. Exactly, 18, perfect. All right. So we're just gonna redo those. All we're gonna do is hold this up here. And you might want it to be a little bit bigger just so that it kind of covers any a little bit of miscalculations or anything like that. All we're doing right here is we're extending those measurements across the two, making it nice and easy. And there we go. Now we know exactly how much we want to cut with the table saw. We're gonna set the depth of it. 3/4 of an inch is the depth we want. So that was a really fun part in my opinion. I love doing this. So all we're gonna do in between these areas that we just marked is we're gonna take the table saw, again, one tool does it all, and we're just gonna run it a bunch of times spaced out across it, and then you can chisel out the wood. A lot of times the pieces will just snap out. We'll have to clean that up a little bit. Unless you do smaller passes, then you don't have to clean up as much, obviously. So now we're just gonna run across everything a bunch of times. Here we go. So what you wanna do first is actually run it once against the line. That way you know what you wanna stay in between, and then you can start kind of going a little crazier. After doing some rough cuts to make the joinery on the 2x4s, I ran over the areas with a sander to get it as smooth and flat as possible before applying glue and clamping in the horizontal shelf pieces. Finally, I cleaned up the area where the storage rack was going to go,
found the studs since this is going to be a considerable amount of weight, and I decided to mount the shelves using pocket hole joinery to the studs, and this gave it plenty of strength for all of the wood it would be supporting. Now this one is all complete, and I finally have a place for all the extra lumber I have for my shop. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and catch you in the next one.